There is a price to pay for poor dating, a bad marriage, and/or an ugly divorce. Stay with me, and we will discuss it. Greetings, daters of all ages. I'm John F. Whitney, author of the book I Do, If It's Equitable, a philosophy for dating and marriage to avoid the potential horrors of divorce. I will be your host and your guide as we discuss the I Do philosophy. This is Section 4, Part 1, the price of poor dating, a bad marriage, and/or an ugly divorce. The red square at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen is a subscribe button. If you feel I am doing a good job, please consider clicking that subscribe button anytime during this video. It's a jungle out there. Divorce in America has reached a crisis state, a fact easily evidenced by the staggering number of divorces that occur annually. This crisis is also evidenced in the anger and bitterness men and women alike will share when they speak about divorce, its settlement, and/or the process involved. Rarely does a couple walk away from divorce without emotional, spiritual, and/or financial scars. Nor does the couple walk away from divorce believing the final settlement is either final or a settlement. Ultimately, the only thing settled in most divorces are the respective legal fees. How did we get ourselves into this crisis? First, the original and necessary need for alimony in divorce settlements went far astray. The original purpose for creating alimony in divorce settlements was to protect a woman's investment in and dedication to the marriage. A woman required such protection as she had no choice but to become dependent upon her husband. This dependency was forced upon her as marital responsibilities were cast in stone. Men were expected to be the breadwinners, women were expected to be the homemakers. Modern society has seen these traditional roles largely changed or in some cases even reversed. Unfortunately, society has not modified its alimony and divorce laws to parallel these changes. Second, this crisis resulted from marriage becoming a mere commodity to some, a means to a financial end for others. Third, for any number of reasons, real or imagined, divorce becomes a way to inflict pain or to punish the former spouse. Whatever the causes of the divorce crisis, one fact is clear. Men blame women and women blame men. But neither is to blame. The system is to blame. The system encourages women to become predators by allowing them to hit the man where it hurts. The system allows men to justify abandonment of a spouse or family by adopting, if you will, a catch-me-if-you-can attitude. Not a pretty picture indeed. Just the facts, ma'am. Specifics may vary among sources. However, it can be reasonably stated that 50% of first marriages end in divorce. 65% of second marriages end in divorce. More than 40% of all children are in single-parent households. Men and women take constant risk that their financial and material gains might be lost through a divorce action. Emotional costs are high as the current system feeds upon the very worst of human emotions, which in turn can lead to criminal behavior. Equally as devastating is when children are abducted, abused, or used as pawns by one spouse to manipulate or harass the other. Extended family members are invariably caught in the crossfire. Grandparents are torn away from grandchildren, or are expected to raise them. Parents might be faced with grown children returning home. Parents could see their own financial and emotional security threatened or destroyed. Each year, millions of dollars are spent on divorce-related costs. in part because the current system may not equitably reward or acknowledge the efforts and labors of each partner, in part because intangibles become the basis of far too many court battles, in part because the current divorce system typically ignores and or might even reward the adulterous or immoral behavior which one spouse is guilty of, but mostly because the current divorce system fosters abuse by one party against the other by allowing motion after motion to be filed, even if years have passed since the divorce has been finalized. For all these reasons, valuable court time is lost to what can often become personal wars. Shouldn't the courts be used for more essential issues and reasons? All this stated, it seems fair to ask, why, good sir, dost thou pay such a high price for a bad marriage or ugly divorce? Regarding alimony, Jeremy Lyons said, alimony is a system which results when two people make a mistake and one of them continues to pay for it. Walter MacDonald said, alimony is buying oats for a dead horse. An anonymous source said, alimony is matrimony insurance for women paid by men for having poor judgment. An anonymous source said, alimony is the cash surrender value of the American male. An anonymous source said, alimony is the act of giving comfort to the enemy. An anonymous source said that alimony is the high cost of leaving. An anonymous source said, alimony is the male's best proof that you have to pay for your mistakes. An anonymous source said that alimony is the result of marrying in haste and repenting insolvent. And finally, Erica Jong said, we don't have a level playing field. We lose our earning power earlier than men, so we shouldn't be required to pay the same. If the above quotations are correct, then apparently for men, the errors in the current marriage and divorce system put his income and possessions at risk from the very moment he marries. Under the current system, once married, the woman immediately acquires all of her husband's wealth and status, which, more often than not, she keeps, or wages war to keep, after they divorce. Furthermore, once married, the woman has choices, the man has responsibilities. Even if she chooses to have an affair, which terminates the marriage, an attorney will still argue that the man is financially responsible for her. Let's look at the man's perspective another way. How about a nice game of chess? A free copy of the book, I Do If It's Equitable, to the first person who, in the comments below, can tell me where "how about a nice game of chess" came from. Consider a chess game analogy. A man and a woman play chess. He has the queen, his rooks, his bishops, a knight, and all but one of his pawns. She has only 2 pawns. Accept this as the financial status of the man and the woman respectively prior to marriage. They marry. This allows the woman to turn the chessboard around and take over all of the man's chess pieces. He can do nothing to prevent her acquisition of his pieces. She is free to do with them as she wishes. By the time they divorce, the man might be lucky to be left with a pawn or 2 of his own, or the woman can use the current divorce system to continually take the remaining chess pieces even after the game is over, or even if she is playing chess with another man. However, it is also fair to ask, why, fair maiden, dost thou pay such a high price if married or divorced? Regarding marriage, Zoe Fairbairn said, when we say that a woman is of a certain social class, we really meant her husband or father is. Bertrand Russell said, marriage is for women the commonest mode of livelihood, and the total amount of undesired sex endured by women is probably greater in marriage than in prostitution. Emma Goldstein said, In taking out an insurance policy, one pays for it in dollars and cents, always at liberty to discontinue payments. If, however, a woman's premium is a husband, she pays for it with her name, her privacy, her self-respect, her very life until death doth us part. Harriet Martineau said, "The sum and substance of female education in America, as in England, is training women to consider marriage as the sole object in life and to pretend that they do not think so." Finally, Phyllis McGinley said, "Say what you will, making marriage work is a woman's business. The institution was invented to do her homage. It was contrived for her protection. Until she accepts it as such, as a beautiful, bountiful, but quite unequal association, the going will be hard indeed." If the above quotations are true, then for women, the error in our current marriage and divorce system is the fact that they are placed in an ever-increasing position of vulnerability. Why? In most cases, a woman's income is less than a man's. Therefore, the relationship must center on his career. Indeed, most women will agree that they have choices: to defer to the husband's career, to follow where his career takes them, to take care of one kid or two, or to do the laundry on Tuesday instead of Thursday. Once in this position of vulnerability, the only security women have comes from knowing that state laws exist regarding alimony and child support. But this is little comfort at all. Let's look at the woman's perspective another way. How about a nice game of Simon Says? A man and a woman play Simon Says, but the man is always Simon and always says. What the man says goes, and then the game becomes hide and seek. He abandons her and hides in another state or behind a good attorney. She gets to seek him out if she can. She gets to fight for what's rightfully hers if she can afford to. Perhaps I am wrong. However, it seems crystal clear to me that the good sirs and fair maidens alike face risks should they marry the wrong person or become ensnared in the current divorce system. What to do? The I Do philosophy is an attempt to prevent these horrors by serving as a guide that insists you consider carefully your dating and marriage decisions. Why? The reality of our current divorce system is this: a marriage license costs $100. A divorce might cost thousands of dollars. A license is required to marry, but no license is required to have children. That seems backwards. Given the consequences of these decisions, it should be more demanding than it currently is to marry and have children. Properly applied, the I Do philosophy will force you to consider carefully the decision to marry and the consequences of a failed marriage while you are dating. This concludes part 1 of our discussion on the price of poor dating, a bad marriage, and/or an ugly divorce. We will complete this discussion in section 4, part 2. I hope you will join me. If you learned anything of value, please consider hitting that like and share button. Leave me a comment, especially if you have a question, concern, problem, or issue we might be able to solve together. Or perhaps you can assist me in improving my presentations to you. Finally, if you feel that I am worthy of your time and effort, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you will know when I upload a new installment of the I Do philosophy. Until next time, date wisely, date safely, and remember, I do if it's equitable.